USA, many women meet in a groups called the feminists. I find them all gently.
Women in this country still make 77 cents on the dollar for what men make. So if women don't make less than men?
Actually, if you start looking at the numbers, Rachel, there are lots of reasons for that.
Wait, no.
I have a thing about feminine rage.
First time ever.
Look, feminism is really bad, okay? Isn't that right, Mr. Hat?
Woke culture is saying otherwise, though.
So that's not true. If so,
all right, let Rachel make her point.
Every greedy businessman in America would hire only women, save 25%, and be hugely profitable.
I feel like this is actually, I mean, it's weird that you're interrupting me.
Ms. Heard acted with actual malice. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
I could not concentrate on what this old man was saying.
Do we take the black pill or the pink pill? What exactly is feminism?
Feminism is a range of socio-political movements and ideologies that aim to define and establish the political, economic, personal, and social equality of the sexes. Feminism holds the position that modern societies are patriarchal and that they prioritize the male point of view and that women are treated unjustly in these societies. A person who advocates for feminism is known as a feminist. Calling masculinity toxic has been one of the most destructive cultural campaigns of the last several decades. Traditional masculinity, strength, stoicism, protectiveness, provision, risk-taking, leadership within the family was all the backbone of a stable household and the functional societies. By reframing these traits as inherently harmful, activists and institutions pathologized normal male behavior. Modern feminism, particularly in the second and third wave and post-2010 forms, has compounded this damage by treating the traditional family as a site of oppression and casting homemaking and childrearing as a second-class role. It encouraged women to prioritize career, autonomy, and self-actualization above marriage and children. Divorce laws, no-fault regimes, and cultural messaging that framed men as the problem made it easier to exit marriages rather than sustain them. The ideal complementary sex roles, man as provider and protector, woman as nurturer, was replaced by zero-sum view in which any male advantage was patriarchy and any female sacrifice for family was internalized oppression. Birth rates collapsed in the West. Single motherhood became normalized despite its well-documented correlation with poorer outcomes for children, and the social fabric frayed. The left-wing woke agenda accelerated and institutionalized both trends through academia, media, corporate DEI, and government policy. It elevated toxic masculinity from fringe academic to mainstream dogma taught in schools and workplaces. It fused feminine grievance with identity politics, framing Western civilization, the nuclear family, and biological sex differences themselves as systems of oppression. Gender ideology further eroded the family by denying the binary nature of sex, promoting medicalization of minors, and treating parental authority as suspect when it conflicts with progressive orthodoxy. Woke institutions reward grievance and punish traditional norms. All of this contributes to the destruction of our great nation.
All these feminists that basically said you're trapped in a home, go get a job, freeze your eggs, take birth control, and all of a sudden women are way unhappier than they were 40 years ago. I just have to ask the question, why is that? Is it working? And maybe there are biological differences between men and women that we should respect, and that deep down a lot of women want to get married and have children. In fact, we should applaud it and we should support it, and we should say it means nothing if you're gonna go be a CEO of some shoe company or be some banker in London. What matters if you raise children and you have something to pass down long after you're gone.
Midnight circuit song. Heartbeat in the mix. Turn it on live. DJ Daly Fix. On the rhythm. Can't resist the play. Just one more hit. The Daly Fix. Feel that voltage kick. The Daly Fix. Too loud, too quick. From DC to the strip. Let the bass line stick. I don't want love. I want my Daly Fix.
9 o'clock on the East Coast, 6 o'clock when we're sitting down for dinner out on the West Coast. That's right, it's time for the special edition of the Daily Fix. Alongside me, you know her, you love her. You people cannot live without her, DCK Daly. Daly.
Hey, Drax, how are you tonight?
Oh, ready to work on my day off as always, especially if it's for a good cause and talking about this movement. Wow. I've learned a lot of stuff today, man. It started back in like 1792 with Mary Wollstonecraft. We can blame her.
It started with, a whole lot of influences with the occult, for example, spiritualism, earliest, you know, the girl power women. They basically started out with this whole philosophy that Christianity was to blame.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of
that
gave birth to the witches of East.
Right, exactly. And then it went to after the Civil War. Um, in the civil after there was so much death and destruction, um, women in particular were looking to make sense of it, and they started.
They probably snuck out of their homes and looked for little clandestine meetings with their coven.
They did, and they got into the psychic stuff and seances and witchcraft.
That's why there's that old saying, early to bed, early to rise, makes an old man healthy, wealthy, and wise. They wanted him in bed so they could sneak out and go play in the woods witchy stuff.
Well, I mean, it also goes all the way back to the founding of the country, where you got to remember we were founded by a bunch of rebels, right? And so they were rebels to traditional Christianity in a lot of ways, which allowed Christianity to split off into all kinds of different things, even to cults that started early in the country. And so, unfortunately, that gave rise to con artists, snake oil salesmen, all of that, which the daughters of those folks had a tendency to also be the con artists in the tarot card, psychic, early witchcraft kinds of things. Interestingly enough, in what I've looked up, the women who were healers and were called witches, it wasn't always just because they were, doing mystical things with all kinds of herbs and everything to heal people. They were also performing abortions back in the day. They were crude surgical ones, and also, some of the herbs that they used. So, interestingly enough, the origins of even the abortion side of it. So they,
Way back
they
to
I mean, basically, they are rejecting Christianity. They're embracing cultish, occult sort of spirituality, embracing Marxism, embracing abortion, and then also this sexual liberation thing. Earliest trans, all of this open marriage stuff started with the feminist movement, and it's all to basically destroy the family, because they view that as an outgrowth of Christian belief, that's the source of toxic masculinity, and that's the source of all repression of women.
In recent years, the term like they're destroying the nuclear family gets repeated over and over and over again.
Yes, and most of these women, they it's actually a myth that women had absolutely no opportunities. There were remarkable opportunities for writers and scientists and all kinds of folks who were women. It goes back decades. The idea that we were just locked up in at home at a stove is wrong.
Yeah.
The second myth about the feminist movement, that it was a grassroots movement. It was just on a shoestring budget. Nope. Some of the biggest names
funded this. Yeah, I've heard.
Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, the Ford Foundation, all of these folks, and a lot of these women who were involved, widows of some of the wealthiest men in the world.
Pissed off widows. Look out. A lot of people already rolling in for the special edition of The Fix. I see Miss Bodie down there, Raging, Rigo. Autumn, it's great to see you. Christian Radio's in the house and everybody else already rolling in. You know the routine. Share it out far and wide. Don't be mean. Tell them there's no place left to hide.
Yeah.
Quote it out. Yeah, quote it out. Put a little GIF down it. Drop your women's lib stuff on there. Uh-oh. And we will repost those quote posts. Drive them up to whatever timeline's left on X. And just like on The Fix, we'll put them in a cannon. We'll blast them out to who needs to hear this message. That's right, all the way over to Iran. We'll see if our friends at the sand want to lend us a hand if there's anything left of all their land tonight in Iran. Wow. It's so nice to be here. We're not usually on Thursday, but this is a
No, we're not. But I thought it was important, for all the gals in the chat. I think it's important that we start taking this on head on, the whole mythology. And because you guys are extraordinary women. And it's, the modern feminist movement still belittles motherhood and being a wife and all of that. No, it's not an either or choice. My life certainly isn't an example of that, and probably neither is yours.
Here we go. This is an example for us tonight. Played the ideal woman against feminism on television set, and then turns around and she's like the leader of this lib movement back in the day. She was on marching in the streets, everything else, burning her bra. Edith Bunker.
I know.
We might have Jean Stapleton not really figured out like we thought. We see her as this lovely housewife for Archie, and then she turns into this women lib leader, burning her bra.
I guess so. No, Drex, there's a lot of conservative women out there today who are still sort of parroting some of the vestiges of even first wave feminism, which is rooted in the occult. This is a great book. If you guys have not seen it, it's written by Rachel Wilson, and I highly suggest it. It's basically the history of feminism and how it started and how it really is rooted in a lot of this occult nature, anti-Christian sort of stuff.
So what you're trying to tell us, a lot of them are old crones. They're just mad.
They're mad. Look, for example, if you look at a lot of these women who were involved in what is now the fastest growing religion in the world, Wiccan. Okay, when you look at the origins of that and the origins of the woman as goddess, it goes back, thousands of years. This notion that women are the warriors, the devourers, the powerful ones. It goes back to all kinds of Nordic, sort of things. It goes back to, Egyptian.
Well, yeah, the Teutonic Nordics. So they had women shamans back then.
Exactly. So it goes back to that, but it takes it and it puts it against Christianity.
You're talking about and it turns into this shit.
Yes.
People when we will not be silenced. Nobody's trying to silence anybody.
No.
We just don't want to be stupid.
No, but men should not be silenced also. And this is part of the problem. Okay. When you have this notion that you don't celebrate the differences between men and women, but instead you decide, you make up this notion that equality is the way to power for a woman. It isn't. Okay. There used to be this chivalry notion of, knights and, the lady fair, because that's what women offered men was, their chastity, their virtue, childbearing, all of that. And men would die for you. Okay. And that's no longer.
No, whether they even want to buy a slice of pizza.
Right. So when you absolutely have this bizarre notion of wanting to be equal, you aren't celebrating the differences and the strengths of each. To me, women have things that men can't do, and men have things that women can't do. And we have debased ourselves into thinking that sinking to the level of equality is the way to do it, rather than being on a pedestal and enjoying the protection, the love, the security of a man. And
lesbians disagree. A lesbian might disagree. They don't need a man.
Oh, okay, cool.
You're saying maybe the lesbians like the ultimate feminist. A lot of them.
Yeah, but that's the origin of it. So when you look back at this first wave feminism, which even a lot of conservative women seem to embrace, it's because they did a really good job telling a story that just wasn't so. Okay, not telling the truth about the origins of all of this. So, I tell you, this is a really well-researched book. Go for it.
That one's not the truth in it, because most of these people are spending it like they do history these days, just bullshit.
Yes, because remember, Hollywood was influenced by it as well. Okay, all these feminist messages, messages at universities, messages through the media. I mean, a son of one of the biggest feminists out there who funded a great deal of the movement was William Randolph Hearst, who owned damn near every newspaper in the country at the time. Okay, you look at some of these names. L. Frank Baum, who was the writer of The Wizard of Oz, Good Witch, Bad Witch. That's not an accident. Okay, he was married to one of the biggest feminists.
And I think who he married, it was her mother that he based The Witch of the West off of.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty
so this idea that, that this is just a movement to help with the equality of women. No, it's not. There's some really dark sides to it. And that starts with people like Margaret Sanger with the eugenics. And she knew that it wasn't terribly accepted at the time, but it was getting more so. She hung out with Nazis. She hung out with all kinds of folks who believed in the subjugation of groups of folks and literally killing children of those undesirables, whether it was in the Black community or the Jewish community or whatever. She got that from Nazis, but she didn't try and sell it. Okay, so when you hear modern feminists talk about it, they don't talk about it because they knew that the average housewife would not buy into it at first. That was later.
Cannot let them buy into it. All right, we got a lot of people already rolling in as we're kicking off the special edition of The Fix. We got a guest that's going to be up here really shortly with us. Florida Buckeyes in the house. He's going to give us his explanation on all this stuff, man. And we are trying to break the chains against the feminism, or of feminism, right? We're trying to break it of feminism. We got to get this stuff behind us, people. You got to move on from it someday. You got the right to vote in 1920. What more do you people want? All right, Kay, we got Charlie Kirk on deck before we bring Florida on, and let's take a look because he used to battle this stuff.
Yeah, he did, because he knew that if women discovered where their power really lay, that we'd be unstoppable. And so he knew also that part of it is a population control, argument. And so, you go girl, be boss babe, and they're having children later. And now we aren't even replacing current population numbers. It is down so far. And it's mostly because the feminist movement put out messaging that said we were less than for having more than just 1 or 2 kids. Now we got a real problem in terms of population. But the Bill Gates of the world want to make it even less. This is problematic, very problematic, and very harmful to the economies of the world.
My buddy Patriot Rob just texted me and said, Drax, just help them guide themselves back to the kitchen. I would agree.
Anytime, Rob, I'll make you a sandwich.
There we go. All right, let's take a listen to Charlie Kirk. We'll be right back with Florida Buckeye.
Do you have sex just to have a baby every single time then? Or are you doing it for pleasure?
I am married and we have 2 kids. So
Yeah,
we're pretty good
but
at
are
it.
you
So,
having?
like,
I'm assuming that you have had sex more than twice in your life,
again,
not
I'm
just
not
to
gonna
have the
like
babies.
give you an inside look into my sex life, but
But you're doing it for pleasure, not just to have kids.
well, again, we actually always do it with God's trust that if we get kids, it's a blessing, okay? And we do it in the marital context. Again,
you also are in a position where you can afford to have children. You are in a position where you are not the lower class.
How about this? How about we have the maturity and the sophistication? Again, you keep on using words children and baby. Let me ask you a question. When someone is celebrating a pregnancy, do they call it a clump of cell shower or a baby shower?
That's also when it's already been past those weeks.
Oh, so it magically gets pixie dust. You're a human being now.
No, because it develops.
Oh, exactly, because it's all around the spectrum of human development, and human development starts at conception.
Yeah, is it going to be completely developed at the first week? No. So
You're not completely developed right now. A lot of people aren't completely developed. I mean,
you're never going to be completely
but I mean that.
developed.
It's like you are not completely developed at age 30 or 40. The spectrum of human development keeps on going when you go deep and deep into your life. The question is the most important question: when does that journey begin? That journey begin. Like, when did your process of development begin?
My process of development?
Yes. Yeah. At conception. Every person in this audience, your life started at conception. And your own DNA, from your eye color to your hair color to your height, from your likes and your dislikes, whether you're an introvert, you're an extrovert, all of that was coded into your deoxyribonucleic acid at the moment that you were a zygote. And so that human deserves constitutional and human rights. And again, you came up here with the accusation saying, I am here taking away people's rights.
You are.
Again, so
you are affecting LGBT rights
right,
and
so
abortion rights. You are affecting individuals that can't always speak for themselves.
Got it. So again, I think we have gone through this plenty of times. I want to get to the next question.
Okay.
But maybe we can get to some.
I'll burn it.
You'll burn it. Okay. Maybe we can get to some approximation of an agreement. Can we agree?
No.
Oh.
Welcome back to Florida, Buckeye. It's great to see you. Welcome to the Daily Fix.
Yeah,
Wow.
what an honor to have two of the smartest and most ethical people on the platform.
We try.
This guy, I'm humbled and truly appreciate both of you. You guys do a great job, and very honored to be here. So thank you.
Well, we're glad to have you here, Florida. And I always love to have your take on things. You know, part of what we just saw in Charlie's clip, for instance, you saw that messaging that she's been pelted with, right? With, well, you're ruining LGBT rights and you're ruining, all the rights of women and you know you're making sure that you are in the toxic masculine position. And she didn't exactly say that, but that's what she was pelted with for years, the patriarchy, right?
She acted like it was wrong for him to even have sex with his wife. She acts like you're doing this for pleasure. You're doing this for pleasure. What world do these people live in?
I took a special enjoyment in the part where we acknowledge that she'll probably never be, quote, fully developed because
I know
she's retarded.
Well, none of us are. Okay, God knows I'm not fully developed.
I mean, Jesus, you don't want these people out there on the loose.
Exactly. Well, now tell me, part of why I'm doing this is because I think it is a travesty what has happened to men in this country. Having two sons myself, it worries me. I always was more worried about my boys over my daughter because they had this whole, girl power thing going on. Hated it. But I want to hear from you, a strong, red-blooded American male. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, and again, the topic is terrific, and I love how you guys left off with Margaret Sanger, and so I want to give a very broad view from a even larger historical perspective. Then I'm going to really drill into the last decade, okay? But I want everyone watching this to think about something really quickly. If you look at every authentic movement in the history of the United States, and I'm going to give a couple that really stand out, fighting slavery, the Civil Rights Act, the Tea Party, and MAGA. Every single one of those authentic movements were against the Democrat Party. Yes, the Democrat Party was the party of slavery, the party of Jim Crow, the party of everything that is anti-American. And then if you look at every movement that has been created by the Democrat Party, you will see the exact opposite, Kay, and it's what you talked about so well in the last segment. That none of this is authentic and everything is about one thing for these people, dating back to the creation of the party just after the foundation of our country, the acquisition and retention of power. And what I want to do very quickly is drain down onto the Me Too movement, okay? Because what the Me Too movement was the first, unfortunately, successful job in the modern era that the Democrats were able to essentially take a group of people and create something that never existed. So, what did they do? Who is the base of the Democrat Party? Right now, it is single, white, angry women. And they were able to do that off of a lie. Like, the Brett Kavanaugh thing, it was a lie.
Yes.
Harvey Weinstein's predatory behavior had been covered up for decades by the Democrat Party. Go down the list of all of these, quote, men. Andrew Cuomo, covered up by the Democrat Party till he had no use, et cetera, et cetera. And what's so sad about this, Kay, is you bring up so well about your sons and you're worried about them and everyone is. I mean, there is no group of people right now more demonized than white men. I'm really sorry to you leftist idiots who are listening here, but these are facts and they don't care about your feelings. And so yet these same white liberal women have already been replaced by African Americans during George Floyd because Biden had to get elected by burning the country down, replaced by illegal immigrants, replaced by Islamists, and then most recently replaced by, wait for it, men dressing like women. We can look back at the WNBA where two little girls just got cussed out 2 days ago. So all of these women who are now in this group screaming and screeching are too brainwashed to realize that they've been replaced 4 times over.
You're exactly right. I mean, after all the fighting that feminists did for Title IX, to be replaced in the sports and putting women in jeopardy there too. You're right about the Me Too movement. I knew Brett Kavanaugh when I was working on judges back in the early 2000s. He was at the Bush White House. I saw him probably twice a week, okay? At least once a week, for sure. There was never any time whatsoever he was ever slightly inappropriate. And I'd be alone in the room with him.
I always said that should have been illegal what they did to Kavanaugh on TV.
Oh no, but they did it before. Remember, they took another stereotype and applied it also to Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas, yeah.
It wasn't the beginning.
Did Clarence cry though on TV?
No, he was defiant.
Kavanaugh was like a nightmare. I felt so bad for the guy.
And it was so unfair. So unfair. He was not the first, he won't be the last, because these little bumper sticker sayings that feminists have literally dragged up from the gutters of hell itself. Literally.
In the end, though, Kavanaugh's accuser had nothing, right? She just said eventually it was a mistake.
No.
After she
It was all funded by the feminists and no, it had nothing to do with the truth.
Compare that now. Let's take in our time machine. Go from that terrible moment in 2018 to 2026 when the Democrat Party nominated a literal rapist. And then when a woman who you might know, Kay, came forward to the New York Times and believed, shame.
Believe all women? Not a fair.
She hadn't done that. She goes to the Times and they cover it up for political purposes.
They do. And what's worse, she was not a conservative, a Republican. She was a Democrat, a solid.
Well, no, the first one that they covered up was, though, Kay, what's her name? Lindsay.
That's true. That's true.
And not only did they cover up the info, but they demonized her and say, well, this is Republicans pounce again. And it just, to all of the angry right liberal women, you've been conned. You are useful idiots.
Yep. Well, look back, even to the Clinton days, all right, when believe all women, okay, not Juanita Broaddrick, not any of the women who came out. Instead, demonize them, wreck them, ruin them, torment them.
They demonize
Monica Lewinsky, and she's still a lunatic lib.
I know. Because they believe, they are fed in their algorithms these messages of how superior they are for feeling the way they do. It is, you can track this messaging all the way back to the origins of this stuff, which is again a woman, goddess, warrior. It all comes from the occult. It all comes from the occult because they have to defeat Christianity. That's pro-family. It is it orders the world differently than what they believe they want. But I don't see in any of the polls, and tell me if I'm wrong, Florida, any of the women happier for any of this.
No, you can make an argument that the West as a whole we reached a peak happiness. Yeah. Honestly, you could argue the 50s. I think certainly the last decade would be the 1980s.
Oh, they dressed so well in the 50s too. Oh,
they're mad.
They did. Women were women.
You know what we were at? We go to Disney all the time. You two of you know that, so the rest of you can laugh. I don't care. Disney's great. They've gotten unwokeified. They're back in business. They really are.
You were last there. You didn't see the bearded lady.
We went to the 1950s cafe at Hollywood Studios for lunch. Guys, the commercials in the movies in the 50s, there was one was like Robot Gorilla Man from space. It's so funny. It's hilarious. And now we have an 85-year-old woman who just opened an OnlyFans page. Yes, that just happened. So I might
Exactly. They believe that's where the power is through the bedroom door.
5-year-old woman open an OnlyFans?
I DM'd it to you, Drax. We continue to just find new ways. The apocalypse is here.
Oh, please, God, help me.
Donna Mills apparently is 85 and is back in business.
No, please, God, no.
Hey, listen, I had to see it, so do you.
No. Now, one of the things I'm most worried about, having talked with my sons and their friends, because men are so backed into a corner, and I could not believe it. Even at events, parties, bars, whatever, they will not go up to a female and talk to her because they're afraid of being accused of something, just accused, and that can ruin your life. That's frightening. Have you had the same experience?
Okay, so I think this is an amazing point. I want to go two sides on this First of all, Gen Z as a whole has the worst social skills in human history, and it is all related to poor education, which is the left's fault.
COVID.
Whose pocket are the teachers' unions in? The left. Whose pocket are the universities in? The left. So they've brainwashed and they've eliminated social skills. That's the first problem.
COVID.
The second problem is exactly what you're saying, but I will also point to you on another side, and this is where I'm going to talk to, young men who don't have wonderful parents like Kay Daly and Mr. Daly to listen to me very, very carefully. Do not take people like Clavicar seriously, who treat women like objects. Do not do that. Do not listen to the Groifers who are all gay, which they all are. They are all gay. I don't really have a problem with you being gay. And don't try to do stuff to me or my wife or whatever. We're cool. But I'm telling you, to the young men, you need to stay focused on just, go up to women, be respectful, and if they laugh at you, they do something, you'll find one eventually, most likely in conservative circles. But I will tell that to the young men, and then to the young women, okay, we got to fix our education system, or I don't know what's going to happen with them.
We do. But women also, and this is a feminist movement to blame here. Women have done this. Women have, they've literally started believing this a long time ago. They believe this is where power is. They believe that, they are worthless unless they do X, Y, and Z in their lives. And quite frankly, women are to blame. It is always, what have you done for me lately? What are you going to do for me? Why aren't you 6 feet taller over? Why aren't you making, 7 figures? Why aren't you? Time out. What do you bring to this, young lady? What are you offering? Except, have you learned basically that all you're going to do is nag him, try to change him? This is.
That's a problem. Nagging.
It is a huge problem rather than understanding and appreciating what men do for us in our lives. My husband works 110 hours a week. You think I'm going to meet him at the door bitching? No, I don't. I'm grateful that he does what he does for us. And, this is, but it still seeps in to all kinds of conversations I have with young women. And the fact that women have changed this culture so much. They're not getting married as much. They're having children later, which is another problem into itself. They have expectations that are absolutely unrealistic. And it's all about them when they should be the backbone of the culture, the backbone of the family, the keepers of the culture. That's a powerful position, incredibly powerful. And if more young women knew where their power lay, and it's not necessarily through a bedroom door at all, they would recognize that they have given up a lot in pursuit of a pipe dream.
You know what's an amazing example of also the hypocrisy of the whole movement as a whole? And Kay, listen, at the end of the day, you're right. There is personal responsibility, especially when young women and young men become adults, to figure out common sense, even though their brains are not fully developed. But I want to hit, there are the people at the top, the people that are really high up, the Democrat Party, the Hollywood elites, the pro athletes, the people pulling the strings for the useful idiots know what they're doing. And here's an example of this. Alex Cooper. For those of you who don't know who Alex Cooper is, Alex Cooper got famous by being a whore, okay, on a show called Call Her Daddy, where she made millions and millions and millions of dollars teaching young, impressionable women how to cheat on their boyfriends, how to do all these things, get into his phone, do the sickest stuff that you could ever imagine. Then she has Kamala Harris on before the election, and they talk about abortion for an hour. Guess what Alex Cooper just announced? Her first child with her husband. Isn't that, and by the way, all the best to them.
Oh, absolutely.
She's telling everybody, you go burn men to the ground. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get married and have kids and be okay. And by the way, thanks for the millions of dollars.
There's that. But part of this bad behavior by women has given men permission for bad behavior. Because it's not like, okay, men have had bad behavior. Okay, wars, all that. But fact of the matter is, the way that women have started to act in all of this, it's given permission to men to abuse them further.
Kay, do you think that Clavicar, for an example, is the creation of the feminist movement, just like Donald Trump
Yes.
is the creation of the Democrat Party's radicalism? I think so
Look,
too.
absolutely. It all ties together. More women are going to college, just like you said, with with the whole education system. When you see what they are studying and learning, it is all indoctrination, gender studies, women's studies, the soft sciences. They are going into medicine and law and all of that, but that's become incredibly liberal. And then worse, the education schools and universities that are pumping out teachers that are indoctrinating kids from birth.
They're taught to live, eat, and breathe suicidal empathy. So they're taught that you're a feminist unless it's a man dressed up like a woman, in which case you need to bend the knee and you just need to look at his penis in the locker room and you need to like it.
Exactly.
And if you don't like it, you're a bigot.
Yes, exactly.
By the way, your children should like it too. Even though, actually, no, scratch that. You're never allowed to have children unless you get really rich and popular like Alex Cooper. Then you can have as many as you want.
Didn't we call those folks in way back in the day flashers? I'm just saying, that trench coat flasher kind of guy who now is dressing up in a dress.
We kind of just didn't tell everybody like what we do sexually like every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Do you remember we kind of didn't do that?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Remember when it was private? Yeah. No, there's this is the scary part, is that you hear the same message points that go all the way back and are dripping with some of the origins of the feminist movement, which were made up of con artists, shysters, frauds, all and lots of money. Lots of Wiccan, Luciferian, Theosophy, all of these extreme cultish, don't want marriage, sleep around with everybody, kids, those are just a problem.
Yeah.
Leave them for parents to raise.
It's literally, it all goes to some of the most evil, satanic stuff.
Most of those people that are into that stuff, they always end up losing their kids, and their parents have to raise their children. I've seen it in my family with my grandparents, rest in peace, but I've seen them have to do this stuff because these people are crazy.
Do you ever wonder sometimes how many of the high-end elites have abortions? How many of the high-end elites have no children? How many of the high-end elites send their kids to garbage public schools? How many of the high-end elites volunteer to pay more taxes? See, it's never what they do. It's always you're going to do it, and you better do it, or you're a bigot. They don't do any of this. And
now they're transing their own kids.
Well, those are the ones who are really gone. Like you'll get some who really have gone all in cults. We were talking about this in the green room beforehand. Like, I like to study like little things about actual cults, not so much as to like watch what happened, like to see how could it have been stopped. Where were those points in time where you could have stopped the cult right then and there? And it's so true to the behavior of the Democrat Party, and it does correlate to now the rise. And I'm so tired of these
socialism and communism.
Fox, especially, calling them socialists. They're communists. They're Marxists. They're Leninists. Stop calling them socialists.
You're right. You're right.
And it is all unmarried, miserable women and just circus freak men who I can't even call them men. Like,
I know.
That's it. That's them.
It's very true, and it's this, all the cultish behavior, came from some of these offshoots of regular Christianity too, which took Christ out of religion. The rise of the Unitarian Church, the rise of, all of these really anti-Christian, anti-traditional religions that rejected the Trinity, rejected, Christ rising from the dead, rejected path to salvation, rejected the Bible. All of these things led to things, first it was Quakers and first it was this, but then it went all the way down the rabbit hole.
It goes back to the Salem witch trials where you had women turning on each other knowing full well that they were lying, but in order to advance themselves socially, morality and doing the right thing is supplemented by what the cult demands of you, not knowing that eventually the cult will come for you, which it always does.
Exactly right. So knowing that this has reached a fever pitch, I'm not only concerned about this next generation, I'm concerned that there are enough conservative women out there who seem to embrace the idea of first wave feminism. And that's just as damaging when you look at the real history that they don't talk about in gender and women's studies departments at universities. You find that there is a lack of real understanding of the history there and the dangers of the occult tradition in the origins of feminism. It's bad. I mean, they actually called themselves, a lot of them called themselves Luciferians. True story. And the lies that they covered up, I mean, the absolute provable truths that are out there that they don't put in as part of this women's history stuff, it's very seductive to young women today, and even to conservative women, because it's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. You aren't a boss babe if you aren't doing this and this. You aren't powerful as a woman if you aren't doing this and this. It's all part of the messaging that goes back to, you're exactly right, the origins of communism with Karl Marx, the origins of occultism, with the sexual liberation, the rejection of the Bible, the rejection of Christianity as an oppressive religion, all of it. And now the rise of what they call toxic masculinity. I like a good toxic male, quite frankly.
This stuff kind of came to a head in 2018. All right, guys, we're having a great show. It is the Daily Fix, a special podcast, breaking the chains of feminism. And guess who showed up in the studio? And I'm going to get him in here next. Patriot Rob's down there. He's going to come up and talk to us tonight, man. He is a badass. He is my boy. He's going to come up and give us his take on this mess.
Oh, dear.
He's going to hang out with us.
Gird your loins.
Be good. Continue to share it out far and wide. Tell the bastards there's no place left to hide, because we got the receipts.
The Me Too movement, it is growing this morning. Remember, Alyssa Milano started it all, inspiring millions of women to share their personal stories of sexual harassment and assault. And last night, Reese Witherspoon, you see her right there, she spoke out, Amy, sparking a real national conversation.
Yeah, this has been a very powerful movement. A new ABC News Washington Post poll revealing an estimated 33 million American women have been sexually harassed, and an estimated 14 million have experienced sexual abuse in work-related incidents. That Me Too movement and reaction to the Harvey Weinstein scandal exploding overnight. The latest headline coming from Reese Witherspoon. This morning, Reese Witherspoon, in an explosive speech, speaking out about sexual abuse she suffered at just 16 years old by a Hollywood director. The actress revealing this at the Elle Women in Hollywood event last night, saying, "I feel true disgust at the director who assaulted me when I was 16 years old, and anger at the agents and the producers who made me feel that silence was a condition of my employment. I wish that I could tell you that was an isolated incident in my career, but sadly it wasn't. I've had multiple experiences of harassment and sexual assault, and I don't speak about them very often." Her daughter listening in the audience. Witherspoon's speech coming after dozens of women have come forward accusing Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein of sexual assault and harassment. And the Me Too movement, millions of women across the country and around the world sharing their experience with sexual harassment and abuse online using the hashtag #MeToo. In less than 24 hours, there have been over 12 million Me Too posts on Facebook and 650,000 tweets on Twitter. The movement started by actress Alyssa Milano, asking her Twitter followers to reply Me Too and share their stories. If all the women who have been sexually harassed or assaulted wrote Me Too as a status, we might give people a sense of the magnitude of the problem, she writes.
And once 5 women, 10 women, 20 women tell their stories about what's happened to them, it makes other women feel more courage to be able to say, this happened to me too.
Milano responding to those comments, telling ABC News, "If through that gift of fundamental support, we can highlight the rampant nature of sexism, sexual harassment, and sexual abuse, then maybe, just maybe, we can change the culture that has nurtured this behavior and change it." Reese Witherspoon also saying last night that hearing all of these stories from women over the past couple of days is what has made her want to speak up. And she said, "I actually..."
Kristen, your thoughts when you were rolling Walk the Line, she gets you right from behind. Reese Witherspoon.
Wonderful. Alyssa Milano and I had a run-in on Twitter years ago when I ran for Congress, okay, in North Carolina. Now, I basically there was the whole bubbling up already
Right.
of trans women in women's bathroom. Okay. And I said, no, I don't like it. It is, it's not okay. My daughter is a minor. I don't want her in a bathroom with a male.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Pretty simple, right?
I know.
Okay. Well,
there are
sorry.
people that do.
There we go. Look who's
Well,
here.
yeah, Patriot Robin won. So I got in a Twitter war with her and with Montel Williams, of all people. It's very bizarre.
Oh my goodness, you're always
Montel Williams was.
There he is, Patriot Rob.
Patriot Rob, how are you, honey?
Your show to come back, Rob. Everybody on X loves it. Continue to share it out. We got Patriot Rob here. I can't wait till your show Critical Mass returns or something new, man. We're missing that in the afternoon on X. How you been?
I'm doing all right, man. Buck messaged me and says, dude, you should really be on this show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm here to throw a punch a few feminists, and I know you'd like
Did you just bring up Montel Jordan?
Montel Williams.
Wasn't that one of Kamala's exes? Montel Williams?
Yes.
Yeah, they were in a polyamorous relationship.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, all of it. It was bad. It was bad. A whole
Your comments are picking up on it, too. Oh, yeah.
He was a pimp, yo. He was a pimp.
Was he before or after Big Willie style?
Well, after. You know?
I don't know.
During.
Yeah, probably both.
My husband says after, post Willie.
Okay.
He remembers this weird stuff.
Everybody's at risk, right? Of being falsely accused. Everybody gets
Yeah, remember the Duke lacrosse players?
Yeah, her name was Crystal Magnum.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm afraid of more than anything.
What do you think, Rob?
And she walked away from it. She walked away from it without anything. Tried to destroy those kids' lives.
Yep. And it also hurts women who really do have a case. It's bothers me.
Since then, there hasn't been a woman that I've met that hasn't said at one point in their life they've been sexually abused by somebody, whether it be somebody in their family or somebody close to them, and I'm just like, and I have. It sucks to say, but I have zero empathy because the Me Too movement just killed that in me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't believe all women.
I don't either.
I think 99%
I don't either.
of them are full of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. And you have all men have every right to believe that, because also the definition of what sexual assault is so broad now. I mean, it's just being high in a bar.
If they're looking at somebody and saying, hey, you look nice today, that's sexual harassment now.
Well, unless you're running for Senate in Maine, in which case you can literally be the new age version of Rapey Claus. Instead of Santa Claus, you just go from house to house raping people, and then it's okay. No big deal, because we got to stop Susan Collins.
That guy lives like 30 minutes to my west.
Oh my God.
Rob.
See, that's what they were bothered about that, but not the Nazi tattoo, not anything else. Okay. There was a lot more before that, but you know what? It was actually the left wing that took him down. The left wing is the one that planted those
because
stories.
he couldn't win.
Exactly.
If he was winning, I guarantee you he'd still be in the race. I would bet every dollar I own.
Right. But Rob, did this change you when the Me Too movement blew up in like 2015? Did it change your perspective of walking up into a bar and just getting a drink with a girl or giving her a compliment? Did you say, hey, screw it, I'm going to sit in the back of the bar, hope they come to me?
Did you ask me that, Drax?
I'm asking you. Did you change your perspective when you went in to ever meet a chick because of the Me Too movement? What was going on?
No. I've been the same pig my entire life.
There you go. There you go.
Toxic masculinity in the house. I'm surrounded by
2015. In 2015, I had just met my daughter's mother, and she's 14 years younger than me.
Wow.
So,
my husband said you're Tony Randall.
And when I saw her, I looked at her and I said, I looked at her ass and I said, that's going to be sitting on my face one day.
Oh my God. So can I just point out that Patriot Rob, this is the blueprint. We talked in the last segment, Kay, about what can men do. You know what men can do is don't be anything but yourself. Like, I can tell right now, I've never talked to Patriot Rob like this. But like I love it. I'm the same way. I'll say stuff that someone's like, "Oh my God, you said that?" Yeah.
They do.
All right, we'll make it. Be yourself. People are afraid of individuals who are not afraid to say what they're going to say because A, it represents them, or B, it's true. And when you do that, you will stomp out the cultists who have no idea how to think for themselves.
It's very true. Hey, Drax, we got to thank Sonia the Connector. Women stay home and raise the children. God will provide as it did for me. And she raised 10 kids.
There is a
Major
reason
Rob will
why.
also probably thank the Buckster letting everyone know he's single, ladies. So there you go.
There you go.
And there's obviously what you just heard is the reason why I'm single.
Wow. No, look.
No, it is. It is because I don't bend the knee.
Exactly. You should never bend the knee. You got to
Great
take
Game of Thrones reference.
You got to hold your ground.
I will never bow down to a fucking woman ever. Oops, sorry.
You shouldn't have to. Look, you shouldn't have to.
But you know what?
Okay.
Listen, what?
But wait, they all end up wanting something.
If we look back at the suffragette movement, I could see the women of that time wanting to have representation, even though I am somebody who is firmly in the camp of repeal the 19th, 100%. But I can understand that. What we got after Gloria Steinem, which I call third wave feminism, has gone into what we have now, which is fourth wave feminism. It has taught these women that all they get in life is from their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And the way to control a man is what's between their legs.
Mm-hmm.
And when a guy stands up and says, no, God forbid a man ever says no. After my daughter's mom and I broke up, I was sitting at a bar in Vermont, in Newport, Vermont. I'll tell this quickly, but because I talk a lot and I know I do. And this really, really, really good-looking younger girl, she had to have been 25, 26, comes up to the bar, sits down next to me. I order her a drink. We're talking, and she says to me, and I was blown away because it was just like so natural. Do you want to see my OnlyFans? Now, the two people that were with me.
Speaking of OnlyFans, Rob, did you hear who joined OnlyFans today?
What?
Yeah, now you get to find out too. Do you know who Donna Millis is? She's 85. She just joined OnlyFans today, so you can check that out.
No, I'm all set. See, I was thinking about doing an OnlyFans, but just my voice.
There you go.
And like reading, like, I don't know, 50 Shades of Grey.
Great series. Watch it.
But then I found out if you read somebody else's stuff like that, you can get sued. So I was like, damn it. So I'm just going to have to write my own story. I'm kidding. Yeah. No, but
it's something else.
And I told the chick to go pound sand, and she just looked at me, and all of her friends started making fun of me. Fucking, oops, sorry. Again, I'm sorry. Drax, I'm sorry. I'm trying really, really, really hard, bro. It's just so natural. 30 years on construction sites, and that's my favorite word. And then one night I was out when I was still with my ex, my daughter, I have a 33-year-old daughter, a 29-year-old and a 28-year-old, and the 33 and the 28-year-old and we were at this restaurant sitting at the bar, and the girls are giggling, and I looked at my daughter and I said, what the hell are they laughing about? She goes, it's the body count app. I said, what?
Oh my God.
She goes, the body count app. Don't you know about that? I'm like, no, what is the body count app? And there is an app out there, I guess, where you can put a man's stats, their pictures, how good they were in bed, how bad they were in bed. And my daughter and her friend, my middle daughter was laughing about it. And her two friends, they were just like, oh my God. And I looked at her and I said, what in the are you doing? I'm sitting right here. And I just realized that women are cooked.
Yeah.
Women are cooked. All of this stuff is designed to take away femininity from women.
Well, the virtue of the reason why you want to protect us, okay, was because of our virtue back in the days of knights and ladies, right? But now we've given basically men, permission to behave badly because we're not deserving of that kind of projection anymore. What do we bring?
For the listeners and anyone out there, if you ever get asked in the future about a body count app, you know how you respond is you say, "Hey, listen, I didn't know Michael Myers had an app until today. That's kind of cool." We killed a lot of people, Michael Myers.
Right.
See what I see that did there?
Yeah, I did.
We just named ourselves.
No, I mean, look, feminists have lost their sense of humor. They've lost, their purpose, and I don't see that that feminism has truly helped. In fact, more women are depressed, anxious,
Miserable.
on medication, going to shrinks. I mean, this has not led to the nirvana that
So
they
the
said
shrink,
it
you
would.
just said, so these shrinks probably get in their head with this stuff.
They do.
Instead of sending them out healthier, they send them out like loaded weapons.
Yes.
So
Very
I
much so.
read something the other day that the relationships that have the highest amount of assault are lesbian relationships, and they
Yes,
have the highest
I did see that.
highest rate of divorce.
Yep.
And the reason is because there's two women. It's hard enough for guys to deal with women, especially the way they are now.
It's true.
But then you put
You
two
know,
women together,
It's true.
Listen, I looked at this, Robin. I don't know if you saw the last segment. I do listen. At the end of the day, adults are adults. They make their own decisions. They should be accountable for. But at a greater good, I completely blame the Democrat Party for what has taken place there. You know, the infiltrations of our universities now, our K through 12. You know, through the Hollywood culture, etc., that has manipulated these women into thinking that men are evil, use your body for whatever you want, never have kids. If you do get an abortion, and you can drink wine while you're having your abortion. And a lot of these behaviors, unfortunately, have been developed through institutions that have been corrupted by the communists. So,
Very much so.
that
You know what,
aggressive
Florida?
stance against women as you do, I more blame the Democrat Party, like I blame them for everything else that's wrong.
Oh, I blame women too.
I actually don't blame the Democratic Party.
Well, some of them are Republicans too.
No, hang on. I don't blame them, because it doesn't matter what the Democrat Party does. Doesn't matter what women do. It is our fault as men. We allowed this to happen. At some point, we got comfortable in our Barca loungers, and we put our heads down and said, "Happy wife, happy life." Men got cucked out for the last 40 years.
Longer than that.
You know, though, I'm sorry. I've been married for 11 years, and I don't look at it at all. I think my wife is phenomenal. Like, we are very different.
I'm not saying you, bro. I'm just saying in general. Listen, I've been on just about every kind of construction site over the last 30 years. Every single guy on that site, except for me, was divorced at least once. Some of those guys have been divorced 3 times. And every single time, it's, dude, I just did whatever she wanted. I just did whatever she wanted. Guys just, I can't tell you how many times in the last 10 years I've heard guys go, "Happy wife, happy life."
Yeah, but if he's divorced 3 times, maybe he's not telling you that he used to like pee on her when he get mad at her or stuff. Like, I don't know, man. All I'm saying is, at some point you need to point the thumbs a little bit.
My great grandpa.
Yeah, I don't know, man. One of the
3
divorces,
times, dude.
One of those dudes' divorces was because he kept taking his socks off inside out and leaving them on the floor, and she
According
lost
to him.
her mind.
Well, doggone it.
Oh, no! I know that one to be true. And you know what? I don't demonize men. I know what men go through in relationships, and I can see the second a man shuts down, I can see it in their eyes, because I've been there. So
Robbie, you're saying a man. Wait a minute, guys. You're saying a man lost his wife over a sock issue on the floor.
Absolutely. On my kids, dude. He would come home from work.
Only reason.
No, she was just a nutbag, and he would take his socks off, he'd throw them on right next to the bed. He'd sit on the bed. He'd go in and take a shower, and then go out to the living room. He worked 10 hours framing a house. Doesn't want to listen to you. Doesn't want to deal with your shit.
This is what I'm talking. Okay, women in this whole expectations game, they meet their husbands at the door with complaints of the day. No. My mother used to, before my father would get home, she would change her clothes from, what she'd been working in for the day. She'd put on the makeup and clean that up, and she would go to the door. "Hi, honey. I hope you had a good day." And never, ever that, The complaints at the door.
I have never seen that once in all the years, in all the relationships I've been in. Never once.
You never seen them go to the door?
Yeah, my husband's saying watch black and white movies and TV shows.
Never once. Never once.
Yes, in the 50s. Will you get over here and just say hi? Good Lord. I swear to God. I have a
I think we are to blame because we have not taken back our masculinity, and we haven't taken back our roles as men. For the last 40 years, it's been beaten in our heads that we just have to freaking abide by women, and guys just got in this pattern, and now now it's good luck.
I don't think we should always lump, and I don't think you're meaning to do this, Patreon, by any means, but I don't ever want to lump, well, this is what's happening with all men, and this is what's happening with all women. Like,
No. I don't.
And I know you're not meaning to, but just for the greater audience, never do that.
Yeah, no, I don't paint with a broad brush. I say them.
I know you're not, for sure.
There's a ton of these that act like this, though. I mean, I still am blown away about the socks. Couldn't. I'm gonna ask you boys just for your opinion. Let me ask you though: would you have picked up your socks and just put them away yourself and said screw it, or would you said, you know what, she's making a deal out of this? I'm going to leave those socks right there every damn time.
That's exactly what I would do. I would be the asshole that would leave my socks there every single time, just because she's making because if you're really going to flip your wig about something that that minuscule, then I'm just gonna be that prick.
That's stupid.
You know what it's like? It's like that episode of The Office, if you guys love The Office, where like it's really the end of Michael and Jan, where they had the little the dinner party, and then Jan got so mad that she threw the bottle through like his 4-inch TV thing. It sounds like the socks was close to that, huh?
Everybody wants a Pam, but I would end up with the Jan. I guarantee.
Levinson Gould.
Yeah, Jan Levinson Gould.
Listen, there is a movement out there. It's called GOW, Going Our Own Way, and it's a very big men's movement where guys we're tired of dealing with these hen-pecking nightmare women, and we're just content with ourselves by ourselves.
Well,
and you know
that's the problem.
Well,
women have.
Unfortunately, there is a movement like that already, and it's called the boyfriend movement, and they're all gay. So that's not good.
No.
I know.
I'm women. I haven't given up on vagina. There's a difference.
No, I mean, look, women have done this. We are traditionally supposed to be the keepers of the culture. We're the ones who remember the birthdays. We do the holidays in the family, but we have given up an incredibly powerful role.
Exactly.
The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world.
Love that movie, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. It's got a good simp in it.
I
love that movie. All right, man. Rock and roll. Continue to share it out far and wide. Here's a little clip sent in by the Phantom of the MAGA. Let's check it out. We'll be right back with Patriot Rob and Florida Buckeye.
I'm about 99% masculine.
99%? Wait a second. Move over. We'll move over. I just want to see this. I just want to get a closer look. "99% masculine." Look at the state right now. Is this your idea of masculine?
No.
No. Oh, this is the 1% that shows up every now and then?
Yes.
I see. It shows up when a masculine energy shows up. Then she goes back feminine. But she surrounds herself with men that are more feminine and calls herself masculine. Because you actually do become masculine around them.
Yes. I mean, I've learned in the seminar I need to be more feminine, but it's just a difficult thing to do.
Is it?
I mean, I feel like
I just walked up to you and you changed states somehow. So it's not hard. It's that you keep surrounding yourself with people you think you can control. And the fastest way you control them is you tear them down. Now, you don't always do it verbally and directly because that's a little dangerous. So you do that in your own head. And you demonstrated 4 or 5 times in the first 3 sentences that you spoke about your boss and everybody else, did she not? You emasculated all of them as fast as you could. Because there's 2 ways to be significant. One is work your ass off and grow and take risks and go through the injustice of life that we all go through to achieve. It's not fair. It's never fair. True or false? You're gonna tell me it's unjust? Everybody goes through injustice. So you do that and you push through, or the other is tear everybody else down and have the illusion that they're going down, you're moving up. And with a woman?
I'm really attracted to men. The problem is I turn them like tires.
You turn them like tires.
Yeah. So they rotate right in and out.
Yeah, I understand. And what kind of man do you rotate? No.
So it's been half and half. So I would say definitely go for sometimes the feminine side, but more recently it's been the very masculine type.
And how would you rotate a masculine? I'd just love to hear this. If they were truly
Usually
masculine.
in the bedroom.
And your idea of rotating him in the bedroom would be?
I'm very feminine.
Oh, you become very feminine.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the bedroom, you become very feminine. And then how does that rotate him?
I just don't keep them.
You don't keep them.
So I don't let them get close enough.
But she don't rotate the tire. She puts it in the tire and gets a new tire. That's basically what she was saying there. She's like, I rotate.
Yeah, that's just all code for this.
Guys, there was a clip that I'm sure you all saw that went viral that I think really is very relevant to this. And it was, what's his name? The guy who's done, Nick Sorster, interviewing a woman on the bench from NYU. And this sums it all up, where he essentially was talking about I refuse to say the definition of DSA, the communist Marxists, period. And so he was asking about abolishing prisons. And she essentially admitted that she had been raped before and that it was okay because prisons are bad. And that's why I truly do believe a lot of this has come from the left's infiltration of institutions and how brainwashed these people are at a young age. No human being with a functioning brain thinks this way, let alone says it out loud. And you continue to see, everyone, videos of lunatics that are posting videos of themselves being lunatics. That doesn't come from your chromosomes or your gene. That comes from absolutely being brainwashed into a cult.
Right, and he's right about that. And so my statement about men is that if we actually fought modernity and we fought for traditional values and we fought hard, like we want to fight the left every day, like when the Proud Boys go out and punch Antifa in the face, if we fought like that for our traditional values, it wouldn't have been able to take hold no matter how hard the Democrats.
Well, I think disavow the punching of the face. Like, that's crime. No, disavow.
I don't.
Not the right way to handle things. There's a difference between self-defense and attacking. I'm sorry. It just is.
Violence is a necessity.
No, it is, and that's look. Part of what I love about what you guys do at the Proud Boys is you want to protect women and children. Okay, that's the nature.
I think that a lot of people underwrite you. I just think I don't think you're going to get there by like punching a feminist in the face. I think that would probably be really bad.
Oh, but it's so satisfying.
A lot of things are satisfying that are illegal. Doesn't make an intelligent way to go about solving a problem.
Yeah, I'm not a lot.
Bears overside.
Feminists have always hated me. I usually showed up at places, like the headquarters of the National Organization for Women, and I was usually pregnant. I was the symbol of everything they hated.
So is Jean Stapleton. Found that out. I hated it when
all in the family.
I hated when I learned it, man. She played the perfect housewife for Archie on TV, but behind the scenes, she was causing a ruckus with all this liberation.
Wow. But
Well, I
this
mean,
is
it was Meathead. Meathead was no better.
it's Hollywood.
No.
It's Hollywood.
Would have thought it, man. Old Edith was out there burning a bra.
One of the other myths that feminists have put up there is that women had no opportunity even before, getting the vote and, some of the 60s things about equal pay, whatever. That's not true at all. They could own property. They could go to college. They could,
own property. They could do dishes. They could do.
No, they could go to college. There were leaders that were women. There were Folks they were in all kinds of different careers. So this notion that we that we had no opportunity to do anything, that's not true.
But they were paid less. So that's what's up their complaint. They want equal pay as men. Now I heard Bodie today told me, well, women get the maternity leave, but should we apply that kind of money and deduction from their paycheck for a woman that's 60 years old and working?
Look, when you have women who are going to leave the workforce to go have children, why would you think that you could come back at the exact level of pay as a man who's worked the entire time when you were gone? That's bizarre. If you look at the economics of it, it's not true.
If she's beyond her childbearing years, should she have to pay that price?
No.
Just-
Look, the equal pay thing is a myth as well, because women are more likely to leave the workforce for certain familial responsibilities. There's no way that they should be paid the same thing when they come back as a man who's been there working the entire time. No way. And quite frankly, this whole the whole equality thing makes me a little nuts. Merit-based, merit-based only.
And it's only in certain fields, Kay. It's not
right.
It's not my field. I've in 30 years, I've never seen one woman on the job site. I have never seen women beating down the door to frame houses.
Right?
I'm
shocked. I'm shocked, Rob.
With really tight pants on, spackling and shit. But I have never, in all of the years and all of the things that I've built all throughout New England, have ever seen one woman say, "Hey, can you give me a job? I want to frame a house."
But they want to be equal, Rob. What? No, you don't. No, you don't.
Come out to the job site.
Yeah, women are the ones who have built, the entirety of this nation.
No, men have built Western civilization, not women.
And we've backed up the men. Okay, that's a proud role. And why feminists have literally degraded women and thinking that that's not a proud role. I'm very proud to support my husband and what he does. And there's it does not matter to me. It's going to say wife and mother on my tombstone, not she wrote really great press releases. All right. No, I know what my role is. I know what my legacy is. And it's my husband and my children.
That's why it's all, again, it should all come back to meritocracy, which is the foundation of capitalism, which is the foundation of what makes our country successful. You look at our incredible Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who was demonized for simply saying, I'm going to take the 10 best people who run the fastest time, lift the hardest weight. And by the way, if those are all women, it won't be. But if it was, we'll take 10 women. But if it's 10 men, we're going to take 10 men. And then, of course, the reporters were all screaming and pulling their hair out and going crazy. And I guess what I'll ask to the three of you is the level of suicidal empathy and really the sickness comes from people like Megan Rapinoe, who've made millions of dollars in the sport. And now that she's retired, cool, we'll let a bunch of men come in and ruin it for everyone else while I sit there and tweet annoying things and move my hands around on The View so everyone hates me. That's the kind of shit that is just outrageous. And that is the kind of stuff that brainwashes people into thinking this is great until you want to play soccer and some dude knocks you on your ass.
Usually in a high school team. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see very many trans women transing to men beating down the door to be on a hockey team.
Precisely.
Right?
It's always these dudes that are failures at life that want to into being women so that they can go and beat on women in women's sports.
And Rob,
they can take the only opportunity a lot of young women have to go to college because of the scholarships. That bothers me a great deal. They've worked, all their lives in a sport, whatever it is, and then some man comes in and takes away, their opportunity to go D1.
And this is the same group of people that have been brainwashed into thinking that they're still fighting for feminism, not realizing, going back to 2 segments ago, that they have been replaced 4 times over by more marginalized groups of people by the Democrats.
Exactly. I mean, it all ties in together. This is one of the reasons I wanted to do this series for the next, couple weeks only, because I think that it's time we talked about feminism openly, and strong women out there, go ahead and be strong, but you know where your strength is. We need to teach the younger generations. It's not an either or proposition.
The thing is just got to go to hell because there's
very toxic. It's toxic femininity. It's toxic feminism. That's the problem.
Oh, and
That's the problem.
Kay and Drax, if you don't mind, I want to respond to something that's going on in the chat. I want to make it very clear that I am, when I'm with somebody, a gentleman. I'm not a. I open the doors. If I get in the car and it's the wintertime, I'll turn your seat on first to warm your butt first. I will make sure that if you don't have a remote start in your car, I will go out and start it for you so it's warm. I've taught my son this stuff. I believe in chivalry.
Yes.
You can be chivalrous, but not be a cuck.
Because the women out there need to know that men will be gentlemen and be chivalrous if you are a lady. Okay? You have to make it worth their while. What do you bring to the table for the men to be chivalrous?
You know, it's funny when these women go, well, look at the way I look. What do you bring to the table? Can you build a house? Yes, I can.
Exactly.
Well, here's a question for you, and here's how you trap them. Because in one side, you've got women who really do want men to open the doors for them, but then in the same sense, the cult is telling them you're not allowed to do that because men is evil. So you get them to that point where they start going in circles till they self-combust. And that's where we need to get with the left until they kind of just realize you don't need to be told what to do, and you can kind of just like, it's okay to let someone hold the door for you. Like, it's okay. Like, Kamala Harris won't come down and like bite your head off. It'll be all right. But we're not there yet. We're not even close to that.
I think women have given that up too. Look, women who don't buy into this have been silent. I want to encourage them not to be silent anymore at all. I'm not.
Where are these? No, I mean, I'm not talking about married women.
No, I'm talking about women who literally will not talk to other women and say, whoa, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. You know, and they just don't. They're almost pack creatures. You know, it bothers me to no end.
You know,
that they
guys,
won't stand up and say, no, this is wrong.
Here's another thought too. Some of this, and I don't think a large portion, but I think a little bit does matter where you live. So as somebody who escaped the hell of Chicago, I can tell you the difference between how men and women interact here and up there. It's a different planet, but everything about Florida and a leftist city is a different planet. So I do think if you move to a more red state, you will find some of the more like humans know how to interact socially. We talked about this a while ago. Like, how will your sons, how will young men meet women? Like, I feel like based on where you live now, you have a better chance at it than if you're stuck in like Islamist New York City or Chicago. But
that's true. But there's still, I mean, feminists are everywhere, including supposedly conservative women. The femcons are very real. And, they're kidding themselves sometimes even more than outright blue-haired feminists.
You can throw some names out if you want.
I live in a red state. We may have 4 of the worst, congressional representatives out there, but the rest of the state's bright freaking red. And the women here are different too.
Where are you, Rob? What state?
New Hampshire. I live in the freest state in the country.
Oh, New Hampshire. Nice. New Hampshire. Getting past the 10 o'clock hour. We're going to take a look before we get up here with Phantom MAGA, who's going to join us next on the stage. Let's take a look at this. This is about how this was funded a little bit, the funding of the feminism, how much people pay into it. I heard the Rockefellers did. Let's take a look at this clip. We'll be right back. Continue to share it out far and wide. You know the routine.
Well, one of the things they told me was that he was at the house one night and we were talking and he started laughing. He said, Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about? And I said, I had pretty conventional thinking about it at that point. I said, I think it's about women having the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they won the right to vote, And he started to laugh. He said, you're an idiot. And I said, why am I an idiot? He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded women's lib, And we're the ones who got all over the newspapers and television, the Rockefeller Foundation. He says, and you want to know why? He says, there were 2 primary reasons. And one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before women's lib. And the second reason was now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think. It breaks up the family. The the kids start looking at the state as the family, as the school, as the officials, as their family, not as the parents teaching them. And so those are the two primary reasons for women's lib, which I thought up to that point was a noble thing. You know, when I saw their intentions behind it, where they were coming from when they created it, the thought of it, I saw the evil behind what I thought was a noble venture.
Mac, look who's joined us. It's the Phantom of the MAGA Phantom. It's great to see you, and thanks for all the help you've done in putting this episode together, man. We really appreciate all you do.
How you doing, guys? I figured that clip was pretty relevant to the history involved in it.
It is. I'm so glad you did that, because the myth is that this was a grassroots, thing that bubbled up with a shoestring budget. No, it was the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, all these big names that had some female in their family, the Hearst family. They had some female in their family who was tied in to this very occult, anti-Christian, feminist thing going on. Some woman somewhere, and they put all their money towards it. They bought buildings. They paid for protests. It was very well funded, y'all, and still is to this day. I mean, that's how Betty Friedan started National Organization for Women, was because she got in with the hoi polloi, of America, and got money to buy the first building for the National Organization for Women. And then Gloria Steinem took it over. These people were not, and by the way, Gloria Steinem, CIA. Okay, look, this was all part of an effort to destroy the family, to put in Marxism, dumb down, America. It's all connected to it. That's why, ladies, we have a job to do with this next generation. We need to do it.
And just like Patriot Rob said, chivalry isn't dead. And like a lot of these women are always like, oh, where's all the good men? And, my answer to that is we're at work. And we're not. We're busy. Not only that, just in places where chaos doesn't lurk, first and foremost. And another thing about this, too, is that Aaron Russo clip. He was a film producer. And he produced Wise Guys, Trading Places, and his political documentary, Mad as Hell. Nicholas Rockefeller wanted to, bring Aaron Russo up into the political spotlight, and he just was turned off by the whole reasoning that he had behind women's lib. So, and then like all these liberal women in their 20s are responsible for getting Mamdani in. They're with the whole democratic socialism thing, because they're too used to all these soy boys being in the party, these men wearing capris and crap like that. They never find a conservative man, so they figure, oh well, I'll just go with Mamdani and maybe I'll get everything for free. I won't need a man. So that's kind of
that was the message of even this the moving in of let's be real, Shiite Muslim philosophy. That was the cover for a much worse philosophy, which is Marxism. But both aren't exactly friendly to women.
Right now you have immersion of the Marxists and the Islamists, and what you are seeing. So, here's one of the best examples that I have of suicidal empathy is Queers for Palestine. Are you serious? Go to Gaza and do that, and make sure you do it on a roof so it's less work for everybody involved.
All these feminists who are crying, crocodile tears over Gaza and out there protesting. Do you know how fast all these wonderful rights that you have would go away as you're being stuffed into a burqa and getting stoned by your family because you dared to go outside without a male escort? Come on now, look.
Well, they make them all go they can never drive in the front seat of a car either. They put them in the back.
No.
Okay.
They can't drive a car, or you'll be executed for driving.
Maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. Maybe the Muslims are more based than we think they are.
Okay.
Except that they really like them young.
I'm just being an asshole.
I know. I know. Except they like them young.
No, because if I had a remote control that would put women on mute, I would walk around with that thing going.
Did you guys see this one?
All day long.
I comment on it. Did you see it's looking out of its domain?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Looks like liberation to me. Pure liberation.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean,
Guys,
my great grandmother
there, though,
always used to say, I mean, and I believed her totally. My great grandmother used to say, why do you want to sink to the level of equality? Don't mess with my deal. I feel the same way. I think that women have given up way
Right.
too much.
Okay,
Way too much.
what they don't understand is equality can never happen. A woman will never ever be equal to a man.
No.
It is physically, biologically, physiology. It is impossible for them, and they were never meant to be. But
See, I have to say though, intellectually, I disagree. I think there are plenty of very intelligent, bright women. I think there are
nowhere near our
really do.
level of men. But my point to this is we're not equal. But the problem is the feminists have said that the second a guy says that, now all of a sudden they're a misogynist and they're, a male
I don't want to
chauvinist.
be equal.
And I'm
I
just
can
saying,
have
I'm not
children.
gonna ever be equal to a woman. I can't push a baby out of my
Exactly.
people.
I can have a baby.
Equal means equal. Period.
Anymore.
Speaking of periods, a lot of these men think they can get a period, brother.
I know. Why would you want one, for God's sakes?
Yeah.
God.
Listen, I am a male chauvinist, okay? Because chauvinist just means proud of. I am proud that I am a man. I thank God every day that I wake up as a man because I wouldn't want to deal with even a quarter of the things that you women deal with on a daily basis. I'm glad I'm not equal to a woman. I will happily say that if there is a such thing as reincarnation, please reincarnate me as a male something or other.
Rob, do you know
I like being a woman because I know where my power lies, and that's what we got to teach this next generation: is where their power really lies. It's not on OnlyFans, it's not body counts, and none of that. No. Make your world worthy of a man.
I'm liking the OnlyFans.
On the internet, I have no desire to even know you.
Exactly.
I'm doing the OnlyFans like Ron wants, so we read to him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Read sexy stories. I'll get like Penthouse like forum and just read that.
What do you think the 85-year-olds OnlyFans
I will
is like, guys?
I will instruct Rock to write me some smut.
There's no way I would ever do an OnlyFans. Come off it. No. No one wants to see a 60-year-old woman do it. No, come off it. Hell no.
I'll start my own.
This woman's 85.
Yeah, the
boobs,
on there.
Boobs are boobs.
These are for all ages people.
I'm gonna start my OnlyFans and name it the PMS channel and subtitle "Putting Up with Mad Shit." That's what PMS stands for.
God,
oh my God, I love it. It's true though.
Putting up with mad shit.
That could have turned in a dark direction. My goodness.
It's true. Oh my goodness. Drax, I'm telling you, this is I have a feeling that the next couple of weeks of this are going to be really fun too.
Exactly. But you guys, man, I do want to thank all of you for coming in tonight and helping out here on a special edition episode of the day.
I got to tell you guys, since the last time I was here, you guys have blown up, and it looks great on you guys. Seriously.
Yeah, I am so humbled to have two of, again, the smartest and honestly, you're both two of the kindest people on this app, and there are not a lot of either of those. To have me worthy of this show is incredibly humbling, and I'm so appreciative, and we'll come back anytime you need me to.
Florida, don't let Kate fool you. She's a raging bitch.
I just seem nice, but I'm not.
They'd have to really move mountains for me to get pissed at either of these two. These guys are up there on the Mount Everest of this app.
You don't want Kay's inner Wiccan to come out.
Yeah, Kay's very few women on X, and
she's really sweet and nice to me, and I don't care how anything else. As long as you're nice to me, I don't care.
They're blowing dark. When the winds are blowing dark on that islands, when you guys see me and go, "What the hell's he doing up at 6 o'clock in the morning?"
I know.
I know.
Look, the ladies are complaining that we need more women on this. I wanted the guys to come up because you know what? They've been the victims of feminist philosophy more than almost anything. Women have too, but men, real men, and these are some real men here.
The men who have been something like this, the victims of something like this.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, I think you unlocked Pandora's box for next week. You could maybe have a women's panel, and then maybe we have one where we all kind of, commingle, not in like an OnlyFans.
Yeah, but I think I need to get a liberal on here. Monday.
Oh,
Like,
Bring
Bring a fresh feminist to me.
like a Xena warrior princess woman up on there.
Be hurricane.
Bring me a
Yeah.
feminist.
I'd wear a ref shirt. It'd be great.
Bring me a feminist.
I had a tete-a-tete last night with this liberal black queen, and it was just the most insufferable experience of my life and ever, like, doing shows or whatever. It was the worst thing. I had her so angry. She was pulling out her wig, and I looked at her and I said, you know, it's really that soul glow that got into your brain and rotted it, didn't it? And she was like,
Don't mess with the weave.
you just saying, oh my God. Blah, 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 blah. And I was somebody that would say that the liberal white woman was the worst thing that you could deal with. No, sorry. Liberal black women are the absolute most insufferable of the female species.
Look, I think, frankly, any female who doesn't understand what damage she's doing by, hook, line, and sinker, going for this is not helpful.
What's the difference between a liberal white woman and an albino Muslim? Nothing.
I'm afraid to ask.
They're the same.
Oh my goodness.
Lord have mercy.
Same.
All right, so we're going to do this for the next couple of Thursdays. So we've got some folks we've lined up who are going to come in and continue exploring this.
Always. But thank you guys for coming in. We really appreciate it. You know, you're always welcome back. Appreciate it, Rob, on the short notice, and Phantom. Great.
I love you guys, every one of you.
You guys for having me
Thank
on.
you guys so much for having me. It was so much fun.
All right, man. You guys can hang out down there as we wrap up on out of here. But thank you so much for coming.
Have a great night, everybody.
All right, guys. Way to go. Episode under our belt. The Daily Fix Special Edition on feminism. Wow, I think it went good. You can't ask for better with Patriot Rob, with Florida, with Phantom MAGA, and Phantom does so much good work for us.
Oh, I know. He does so many. I mean, the graphics, the ads, all of that. It's so helpful. Yes, we've had a lot of.
All right, hang on, Florida. We'll be right with you. They forget.
Yes, we will. No, we have had a lot of testosterone up here. I know, ladies, don't worry. We will have some females in this too. But I wanted to get the guys up here, and I'm glad that they were able to join us. But next Thursday, we will be on. Tomorrow night, we're back with the regular fix. There's a lot of news breaking around the place.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff going on in Spain.
Oh, yeah, Spain is popping right now. A lot of things going on. Todd Blanche's nomination is stalled out. Thank you, Tom Tillis, and especially John Cornyn. Yeah, that's helpful. But no, we've got a lot to get to tomorrow night, and who knows what's going to break between now and then. So join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the regular edition of the Daily.
That's right. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. EST. Yes, where you'll join us. Thanks, everybody, for the 5,000 or plus who've tuned in tonight. We really appreciate it. Continue to share it out throughout the night so we can get that reach out there for our new special editions here at 9 p.m. on Thursday night. There's plenty of X spaces out there for your listening entertainment from the boardwalk to the boulevard. So remember, people, if you can't be good, you'll tune into The Fix tomorrow night at 8 p.m. EST, where you know we're going to be bad.